He disappeared. He went under maybe 2 inches.
There's one laying on top of the other over there.
Here's the bubbles. Follow the bubbles.
Yep.
Right here. Buddy.
Lexi! Lexi!
What was the other one? Hi. No, don't do it that. I wouldn't try that.
Okay.
Kind of tough to do through the fence.
Yeah. I think that's the point, though. How big is it? Probably 14 foot. 19.
Hey Rose, hey Rose. Hey Rose, hey Rose.
We can go, we can see him. He's a big boy. Free Willy, Free Willy. Get him. Get him. Get him. Look at him. Oh, he's backing on. Oh, he's looking back at him now. Look at that big one in the corner. Uh-oh.
water over here.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, come here. Look over this head.
Hey, stick your head over there.
Slowly look, take your head and look over.
We can hold one of them, maybe.
No problem.
Yeah. Going right in there.
And look, they're all coming around here now. I'd be scared if I was him.
They're not that big, so they're not going to do a whole lot. And he's wearing good shoes, so they're going to bite his shoe, not bite his feet.
What?
There's one, there's got one back there.
Oh, that's a big one. Oh, look at that one trying to get inside. Oh, what?
Alright, are you guys able to hear me okay?
Yeah?
Yeah? Okay guys, so my name is Austin. I'm one of the zookeepers here at Alligator Adventure. I'm going to be doing a reptile show for you. Before we do get started though, I do have to go over the rules of the park for you guys. So rule number 1, we cannot have any children up on shoulders or up on the railings whatsoever throughout the entire park. We do have fencing around the whole park, however not all of it is high enough that it would prevent your child from going overboard if they were to get bumped. Rule number 2, this goes for everywhere in the park, but especially around the hyenas and mountain lions, but we just can't have anybody running. Whenever you run by our hyenas and mountain lions, it may look like they're trying to have fun with you and play tag and stuff like that. But in reality, they're actually trying to hunt you. Whenever they cannot get to you, it makes them very nervous and anxious, and that can lead them to taking that frustration out on each other. Rule number 3, please just be respectful. Everything you see here is the permanent full-time home of all the animals, so please do not go sticking or throwing any food or fingers into the exhibits, and if you have any trash, just make sure it goes into the nearest trash can. Now I do have a few show rules for you guys as well, so I will be walking around outside the glass with both reptiles. Now while the reptiles are out and about, I need 2 things from you guys. So the first thing is that I need you guys to not approach me, either walking or running up to me. And the second thing is that once the animals are outside, I need you guys to stay locked into those seats that you're in. I need these 2 things to happen for a number of reasons. The first reason is that I need a clear path around the outside of the stage to make sure everyone can get a nice good look at the reptiles whenever they come by. The second reason is that any type of quick or sudden movement can cause the animals to stress out. I want to make sure you guys and the animals all have a nice stress-free time. Now the third reason, this kind of piggybacks off of what I'm going to talk about next, but once the animals are outside, we are going to get touching the animals, but it's only going to be those first 2 front rows that you guys were just...
We ain't touching it. Wow.
so this right here is my good friend Prince. Now Prince is a ball python. Ball pythons are naturally found in Central and West Africa, but they are here commonly as a part of the pet trade. Now I'm sure some of you are familiar with ball pythons and you're asking yourself, why isn't he brown like the rest of them? That's because Prince here has something called leucism, so he's technically a leucistic ball python. Now leucism is a genetic mutation that purely affects the pigmentation of his skin and eyes. It's not quite the same as albinism. So in albinism, they lose all their pigment, kind of like Prince here, but albinism also does still affect the eyesight of the animals that they're found in. So unfortunately, just because it's part of the mutation, as an albino animal gets older, it starts to lose its eyesight as it goes on. But Prince here is pretty much unaffected besides the color of his skin and eyes. So you guys can see that he has a nice white coat to him, and if you were to look closely, you'll notice a faint yellow racing stripe down the middle of his back. And if you guys are close enough, you'll be able to see that he has a nice pair of smoky blue eyes as well. Now, Prince is a constrictor snake, meaning he is non-venomous. I would not bring a venomous snake out here for you guys, much less be wrapping one in my hands like I am right now. So because of that, Prince has to have a completely separate method to capture his prey. So he has about 60 really sharp, recurved teeth. Recurved just means that they point towards the back of his throat, so they act like hooks. Whenever he bites into something, it can't get away unless he lets it get away. At that point, he will coil around it and squeeze it. Now, a lot of people think with constrictor snakes that whenever they squeeze their prey that they are suffocating them. However, suffocation actually takes a very long time. Instead, what happens about 90% of the time is that he squeezes his prey so tight that its veins and arteries shut, and that restricts the movement of their heart because the blood pressure is too high for the heart to pump blood around the body. And that will actually put the animal into cardiac arrest, or in other words, it would give the animal a heart attack. At that point, when his prey is subdued, he will go ahead and swallow it whole. Now, you may see it here in a little bit, but Prince may stick his tongue in and out of his mouth. So that's actually his sense of smell. While snakes do have a nose, they only use that nose exclusively for breathing. Instead, these guys have a very specialized...
You want to touch him, Lou? Yeah, touch him. Just wait until he came around. I don't want to sit here. Oh, you're fine, honey. Come over?
No, I can't let you hold it, buddy. Just 2 fingers. There you go.
You're good.
Hey, buddy, I need you to sit down for me, okay?
Oh, come over.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I want to touch the snake.
I'm sorry? Is he a snow snake? No, he's just really white. So he's actually found in like a deserty kind of foresty area. It's just that he has this special condition that gives him this color.
Austin, how long will he live and how big?
How long will he live and how big can he get? So ball pythons can grow to be anywhere between 3 and 6 feet long, but it really depends on the enclosure that they're found in. So I believe we got Prince as an adult from a breeder. That's pretty much the only place where you can get a snake of this color and morph. Morph is like the different combination of colors that they have. So if Prince were born here and he were hatched out here, we would have put him in something like maybe a 40 or 50 gallon tank. He probably would have grown closer to that 6 foot mark. But because he was kept in a smaller tank whenever we first acquired him, he's pretty much fully grown and he's stopped growing for now. But I would say Prince is probably somewhere around 9 or 10 years old, something like that. But most snakes can actually live to be about 20 or 25 years old, and that's pretty much like a blanket thing for all snakes around the park, unless the sign says otherwise. But if you see any snake here on exhibit, chances are it could live to be about 20 to 25 years old. Yeah.
What are its most common predators?
What are its most common predators? So, most snakes share a lot of the same kinds of...
Are we trying to wrestle or something? Right. I think I don't want to sneak
Alright, so you guys are obviously here at Alligator Adventure, so what would a reptile show be without one American alligator? Now I'm sure you guys have noticed, but I'm actually surrounded by a pool of about 60 of them right now. And I do have this, nope, you're gonna, nope, get back in there, go. And I do have this pole here, however, it does not help me get these guys up on land like you think it would. What it does is that it helps me get these guys into a position where I can reach into the water and pull one out by hand. At that point, I'll make sure he's safe to handle, and that's gonna be the gator we're gonna use for the show. Now, this can take 5 seconds, it can take 5 minutes, it really depends on how these guys are feeling. They are incredibly smart, they know exactly what I'm trying to do, and exactly what to do to stop me. Now, I am still going to try to pull at least a decently sized gator out for you guys, but depending on how long it takes, we may have to just take what we can get. Come on, guys. Somebody. Come on. Just back this way, just a little bit more.
You're going.
Alright. So I've got a pretty good grip on this guy. I'm just going to keep him in the water for a little bit, let him tire himself out, because it makes it a little bit easier to handle him whenever he's tired, when he's on the glass. But it seems like he's about to save that for later on.
I'm not touching this.
So, this guy right here is going to be our gator for the show, but obviously I can't bring him out for you guys just yet. He is still quite small, but those jaws that he has are still very, very powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure he's nice and secure first. And then I'm going to make sure that mouth is shut and make sure it stays shut, because this would be a very embarrassing point to have my fingers bitten off. Now in my pocket that I just pulled out, I have a roll of electrical tape. This is made out of a very soft rubber called vinyl, so it doesn't hurt these guys whatsoever. On top of that, the adhesive doesn't even stick to their skin, it only sticks to the tape itself. So as soon as I take this tape off, it's going to be like this never even happened. However, he's still probably going to keep a poor attitude. Alright, let's go ahead and get him out here for you guys.
You ain't gonna touch him, Don?
I ain't touching
His mouth is taped.
I don't care. I still ain't touching
Oh, you're soft. He said it's soft. You're soft, is what I'm saying.
Alright. Alright guys, so this right here is one of our juvenile American alligators. American alligators can be found anywhere from the top of North Carolina all the way down to Florida and as far west as Texas. So they cover pretty much the entire southeastern United States. A little out of breath.
Hey there, watch your phone.
Now I'm able to tell he's a juvenile for 2 different reasons, but I'm just going to go over one of them for you today. Now, the first reason, pretty obvious, give him a nice soft pet on the top of his back, but only the top of his back. Do not touch his legs, tail, neck, belly, or head. Again, this is the time to ask me any questions about the alligator if you have any.
How do you keep track of all the alligators that you have here at the park?
How do we keep track of all the alligators we have? So we technically don't have an exact count, like we can't guess it like all the way down to the single digits of how many we have. But we have an estimated around 800 alligators here in the park. Just because these guys do reproduce exponentially, and whenever they do lay a nest, we go out and grab it and hatch those eggs out ourselves, so that way they have a higher chance of actually surviving. So every single year we can hatch out anywhere between 75 to 175 baby alligators.
What makes them so buoyant?
What makes them so buoyant? So these guys do have fat on their bodies, which helps them float a little bit, but these guys also do something called tidal breathing. This is something that we also use whenever we're scuba diving. I'm actually a scuba diver myself. So tidal breathing means that you're not breathing out your entire lung capacity. So you're somewhat buoyant at each level that you're down. So these guys will have an almost empty set of lungs, and that will help them sink down to the bottom. but these guys could also have their lungs about 3/4 of the way full, and they'll sit almost on top, maybe just a little bit below the surface of the water. But it really depends on what they're trying to do, and then they can also stay underwater depending on how much air is actually in their lungs. So if they're down lower, they're going to have a lower lung capacity. So they'll probably only be able to be down around 1 or 2 hours at the most, but if they're sitting up towards the top of the water, they'll be able to hold their breath for around maybe 4 to 5 hours. That was a really good question, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Where you guys been? Get out of the way. We're trying to watch alligator. We're trying to watch an alligator feed. Look at them, they're already moving this place. They're like, I'm just coming.
Yes,
Control alligators.
They'll be all over here. Good. Not much.
That big one all the way in the end.
Where?
Let's see the longest time.
Walk right here.
Oh, she's attached to him.
She's trying to stand so she doesn't fall over.
Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. How are y'all doing today? Good. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. My name is Courtney. I'm one of the zookeepers here at Alligator Adventure, and this is our feeding show. I do have a few park rules I have to go over before we get started, but we'll get to all the fun stuff real soon. Rule number 1 is going to be one of the most important rules while you're here today. We just ask, please do not have any children sitting on your shoulders or sitting on that railing in front of you today. We just don't want anyone to accidentally bump into you and your child goes into an area they're not supposed to be in, for example, an alligator pool. Rule number 2 is please no running. That is for your own safety, but as well, please do not run past the mountain lions or the hyenas. That can actually cause them distress and cause harm to each other. So again, please no running. And rule number 3 is just everything you see here is the animal's home, their habitat. So please do not throw anything at them, try to touch them, or give them any food while you're here. Everyone sound good with those rules? Yeah? You guys excited?
Yeah.
This section right here is excited. Is anyone else excited? There we go. All right. Well, I am going to try my very best to actually get these alligators to jump out of the water for you guys. So I would recommend having those phones, those cameras ready, because they like to come out of the water depending on their mood. So we're going to see if we can get them to come on up here and say a little bit hello to everybody. So today I am going to be feeding the American alligator. These alligators can be found all the way from North Carolina down to Florida, but as far out towards Texas as well. There's actually 2 species of alligators in the world, with number 1 being the American, number 2 being Chinese. Now, the Chinese alligator will be found only in China, but we do have a few of them located here at the front of the park. Everything I'm feeding right now is just going to be the American alligator. Now, these alligators here will grow to be about 8 to 15 feet in length and weigh about 1,000 pounds by the time they're done growing. Out in the wild, the average lifespan of an alligator is 30 to 40 years old. Where here in captivity, we actually have seen them live to be closer to almost 80 years old. And that's just because here with us, they don't have to worry about looking for their food, they don't have to worry about predators. They just know if they wait long enough, all this food's gonna fall from the sky for them. Now, what exactly am I feeding them? Well, you probably have noticed these little biscuits I've been throwing out at them. Well, these biscuits here are just extra nutrients, extra vitamins for them. Now, they also get some lovely raw meat as well. I do have some chicken today. Now, it's just like the chicken you can find at the grocery store. But alligators actually only eat about once a week. They do not eat every single day. And that's just because it does take them a lot longer to break down their food. So they do not need to have food every single day for them. Hold on, you already got some food. Now these guys here only eat about 80 pounds of food a year, and that is just because alligators go through what we call brumation. Just means it is too cold for them to eat in the winter time, so they just shut off their stomach and do not eat all winter long. So, for example, these little guys here stopped eating back in November, and they just started eating again in April. So that's quite a few months without any food. Again, just too cold for them to eat. There we go, big guy. Now that one that just kind of jumped awkwardly for you guys there, he is about 13 feet in length. He is going to be one of our larger ones here in this pool. So again, these guys just do not eat every single day, so that's why I might not have all of them coming to me right now. But as well, I'm just making sure I am throwing out all these little biscuits, just making sure everyone is getting some. But that's why we have to have multiple feeding shows and multiple feeding days, making sure all 700 of our alligators do get food here. Now, while these guys are jumping up to me, I'm able to look into that beautiful mouth of theirs and see about 80 teeth in their mouth, and throughout their lifetime, they will go through about 3,000 teeth. So just like a shark, they're able to regrow their teeth back over time. Now these guys also are very strong animals. They do have a bite force of about 2,100 pounds per square inch. That just means that they're able to break every single bone in your body, as well bite through concrete. They are going to be the third strongest animal in the animal kingdom, with number 1 and number 2 being crocodiles. The Nile crocodile and the saltwater crocodile have been known to have a bite force closer to 3,000. And we do have both of those crocodiles in Crocodile Cove, if you have not seen them yet, so it's going to be in the very back of the park. Now these guys here, as you can tell that they're kind of trying to all looking up here at me, maybe some of them are jumping, some of them don't really have the energy to. Well, they're actually just pushing off of the tail to come on up here. Their tail does make up half of their body size, as that is going to be one of the most important parts of their body, because with that tail they're able to reach speeds of about 20 miles per hour once they're in the water. Where on land, they only run about 5 miles per hour. So they really are not the fastest runners on land, but they love that having that nice long tail there to help them quickly get out of situations, because the only known predator for an alligator is itself. Alligators will go after each other. So that's why we do keep them separated by size, but we also have to keep them well fed, just to make sure no one really goes after anyone here. Now these guys all are starting to kind of stand on top of each other to block each other from getting some food. So I'm going to try my very best to get at least 1 or 2 more jumpers for you guys. Oh, buddy. Sorry, bud. I don't know where you went. I'm going to try to get you guys a little bit few more jumpers. I am running a little bit low out of chicken. I do have a little bit more biscuits left. So again, I'm just going to make sure everyone does get some biscuits, as it's perfect like nutrients for them. But I do have a little bit of chicken left. So we'll try to get at least 1 or 2 more jumpers for you guys. Does that sound good? Yeah, you guys want to at least see 1 or 2 more jumpers?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, you guys had me worried there. You guys didn't really answer. Alright, so again, I'm going to try to get a few more jumpers, but I do have a friendly reminder real quick. We do have a reptile show happening at 4 o'clock. That actually show where you can learn about the animals and touch those animals as well. Right down this pathway, those tall green bleachers right by the snack bar. And that's going to be the next show at 4 o'clock. And then we will have another feeding show right here at 5 o'clock. If you guys are still here today and want to come see these alligators get fed again. But that'll be our next 2 shows. But I am at my last 2 pieces of chicken here, so let's see if we can get at least 2 more jumpers for you guys. See if I can get one of the big guys to come back up over here for everyone, front and center. Oh, buddy, I'm sorry I didn't see you. All right. So let's see if I can get this guy up here one more time for you guys today. Looks like he is interested, but we might have another alligator standing on top of him right now. So we'll see if we'll try to get him to come back up here. Maybe. He's thinking about it. He'll work on it. We'll see if one of these guys over here would like this instead. See if I can get another one of these big guys to come back up here. Now these bigger guys, there's only a few of them in the pool, and they are actually almost 50 years old. So they actually are one of the older alligators here as well. But it looks like they're now all standing on top of each other. So let me see, maybe this little guy will come on up here. Anyone? All right, we'll keep trying for a minute or 2. Again, like I said, they like to stand on top of each other to kind of prevent each other from getting their food. So we'll see if I can get one of them to come back up here for you guys. They all are looking at me like they want to, but I don't know if they're going to be able to. We'll see. Come on. All right, guys, come on.
Do it.
All right, well, with this piece of chicken, we'll have them run. And now we'll see if I have everyone's attention, because this is my last piece of chicken here. So let's see if I can get this guy front and center for everyone here. Looks like he's ready to go, so I hope you guys are ready, because it looks like he's coming on up here. Let's see if he's got the energy to do one more jump for you guys today. And he's going back down. Oh no. I don't know if he's going to have the energy to do one more jump for you guys. Let's see. He's got his tail ready like he wants to. We'll see. Maybe I can get one of these guys to come on over here for you. Now these guys might also start getting a little too full, so we'll try. I do have a few of them looking at me still, so we'll try again. If not, I will just go ahead and get them to run just like I just did that last time around. But we'll see if someone will come on over here. I want to try to get you guys one grand finale jump before we head on out here today. All right, let's see if I can try to get with them. Looks like he's interested. Now that one with his mouth open there, he is off one of the older ones, so I really don't know if he's gonna jump. He usually does not have energy, but he looks like he wants it, so we'll see. This might be an awkward jump, but he might be actually coming up here, guys. We'll see. We'll see how he's feeling today.
He's like, no,
We like to call that one Smiley, fun fact, because he looks like he's just smiling all the time at us. Now, a lot of people always ask, do we have names for everyone? No, it's kind of hard to tell them apart. But some of them, there is quite little ways that we can tell. But it is looking like no one is really paying attention to me anymore, guys. So I might have to go and get this guy running up on land for you guys. All right, let's see if we can get this guy back up. All right, everyone. Well, I apologize. We didn't end the show with a jump, but I hope you guys were still able to get a few of those jumps on.